Okay. Track your leads. I'm old school. I use a book like this. I know some of you have CRM systems and these fancy things. I'm like really old school. I keep track of people. I just write their name and number down and a cell number or an email or something like that. How many people here track their leads? Now, you're not going to be able to track. I mean, everybody that comes to my office, I don't get their number. But I always ask, I say, hey, if they didn't buy, I say, can I have your number so I can keep track of what we talked about? That way when we talk again, hopefully, I'll be able to discuss it with you. And most people will give you their number, okay? We're not the car warranty people, right? Speaking of which, is your all's car warranty up to date? That's good, good. But in order to lead the pack, you have to track your leads. And, you know, the people who don't immediately buy, write their name down, and it may take 3 to 4 touches before they ever buy, okay? And what I mean by touches is I may text them, I may call them and just check in with them. I may email them. I do very little emails. It's mostly text and phone calls. And the people who get text, maybe I'll send a little video of me saying, hey, just checking in with you. We talked about a shed, and I talk about the particulars. And I'll say, just call me. I'm here for you anytime. And that's kind of a personal touch right there. People like being followed up with most of the time, okay? Who uses a CRM system in here? Which one do you use, sir? Yeah, do you find it pretty good?
Yeah. We used SharkSpring for a while. We switched to
Right. I'm thinking about doing that because it gets monotonous writing everybody's name down like that. And who else uses those? Does anybody else like handwrite their leads down? Good deal. Good deal. The fortune is in the follow-up, okay? I can't tell you how many people that I've called back who said, hey, I was just getting ready to call you, Mr. Hutchins. I want to go ahead and get that building. And that's a great feeling when you're in this business, right? They're glad that you called them to check in on them. So definitely track your leads. That's a big deal. Anybody have any questions or comments you want to make about that? All right, we'll move on. This has got a gold star up there. This is very, very important. If you don't take anything else away from this today, take this away, okay? Ask your customers for referrals. Who does that? Who does it on a consistent basis? We've got a lot, okay. That's a big deal. You could triple, double, quadruple your business if you get good at this. I'm still trying to get good at this, okay? I try to do it with every customer. Each customer to me is worth at least 3 to 5 referrals, and that's huge. That's big. So, that's like a built-in customer base. And when you make somebody happy, they're going to share what you did for them, and those people are more than likely going to buy from you if they're in the market for a shed, right? I follow up with each customer and I ask, who else do you know that could use my services? Who else do you know that needs a shed, a carport, garage, whatever it is? A lot of times they'll tell you, Create a referral program for your customers. I give my customers $50 if they just bring me a customer. I give them a card, and on the back I have them write their name, my business card, and then they come in, it's like a coupon, and I send them what I call mailbox money, all right? I've sent out thousands of dollars over the years to people, and they really appreciate it, And most of them tell you, I don't want the money. I just want to, share my experience, and I don't need any money, but I still send the money anyway. Does anybody else have a referral program? How does it work? Is it?
We have a little card with the company name on, and then when the salesperson makes a sale, they'll put customer's name on it, and the customer can give it to their friend or whatever, and the friend brings it in, and we send them a $50 check.
Perfect. Do you keep up with those checks?
I don't know how many we've sent out.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing. I didn't start doing this. I didn't know this till a few years ago. That's all part of advertising. That's tax deductible. You can write all that off. You just got to keep a record of it. But, asking for referrals, I can't tell you how much success I've had with that. And I'm not really good at it. Okay. I try to ask everyone, but the time in the day, man, we're doing things, we're talking to people. It's hard just to focus on that, but when I do, it works out really good. Does anybody else have any referral opportunities or programs or anything like that?
Well, we had one, but we had to end it because of fraud. We would mail the referring customer a $100 credit card, like a gift card, if their friend came in and bought a building.
Right.
But it turned out they were all just friends of the sales girl, and they
Oh.
were using their cards together to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Restaurant.
Man, that's great.
We got lucky in that the waitress at the restaurant who used all the gift cards, happened to know somebody that worked for our company. She let us know what was going on.
People never cease to amaze you, do they? I've had people call me and they'll go, "Hey, Charles, heard my neighbor bought one." Yeah. You got that referral program, right? I'm like, well, yes. They didn't mention your name, though. Did you talk to them? No, but I mean, I'm sure they saw my building over here, and here's the deal. On some of them, I just go ahead and pay it. I don't want to make anybody mad, but use your own discretion on that. But yeah, people, they're the worst, aren't they? Anybody else got any good stories like that? Yes, sir. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's right.
One thing that we like to do is, we have hats and t-shirts made up, so instead of giving them a referral card, we'll give them a free hat or a free t-shirt if they bought a building.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Try to make sure it's a nice hat, comfortable shirt, so they actually wanna wear it.
Right.
And then, we hope their friends and family see them wear the shirt or the hat.
Sure thing.
Use that as a referral.
Excellent. Excellent. Anybody else?
We do that same thing.
Same thing. Have you found that's a lot better?
Yeah, they're happy to give their referral because they had a good experience. and
Yes.
They're just kind of tickled that they got a shirt out of it.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. I've given shirts away and a few hats over the years. I'll probably end up doing a mixture of both again, but yeah, people take advantage of that referral thing sometime. But you know what? Sometimes that's the price of doing business. You don't want to make people upset, especially if they've been a good customer. But people are out for money. That's what you're going to learn. Anybody else before I move on? Yes.
We do $50 Visa card. We get the customer to give us the name and phone number of the one that referred them to them.
Yeah.
And I actually have 3 home care nurses that bring their patients to me and they buy buildings. And 2 of them pay their building off on RTO, gift cards.
Well, that's fantastic. That's good. Give her a round of applause on that, man. I like that. Awesome idea. Thank you. Anybody else?
We do it post delivery email, and I just had the idea that we could do the referral thing in that email. We don't currently, but we can try it.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, you can't go wrong with any of the things we've talked about today because with this referral program, because you're just staying in touch with your customers, right? You always want to be reminding them, if it's possible, to be letting their friends know about what a great experience they had, things like that. So awesome. I'll move on if anybody else has any. Doesn't? Yes, sir.
Don't want them to block your number, though. There's people in my area that calls every week. And somebody says, I want to buy a shed in June, and this is in November,
Wow, man. Yeah. See, if I worked for a shed company, I'd just go in and hand them the phone book and say, these are my customers, all right? Yeah, these are my leads right here, you know? But anyway, anybody else before we move on? Ask for referrals, guys. I'm telling you, people are talking about the economy and worried about gas and all that stuff. This is kind of going back when I was talking about the news. If you listen to that, you won't even come out of the house, right? You don't want to come out of the house. We as salespeople have got to cut all that out, right? So anyway, create a referral program. That's a wonderful thing. And anybody else before I move on? Kind of lost my train of thought there for a minute. All right. Send your customers a thank you card, a personal thank you card. Now, what you don't see here is I actually, in one part of this card, I handwrite a thank you, like, hey, I want to say thanks again for your business. I truly appreciate it. God bless. And people get that, and I have a lot of folks say, man, that's nice. I got that card from you in the mail. And this is another great opportunity to ask for a referral. I put my business card there, and it says I'll send them $25 to $50 depending on what it is. It's always $50 now. Used to when I had these little carports that were like $6.95. You know, you don't make much money on those things. So I'd send them $25, or if it's a piece of furniture they buy from me, $25. But most of the time it's $50. And if they're a veteran and they send me somebody else, sometimes it's $100. Depends on kind of what, I kind of use my discretion at that. But doing a personal thank you card just lets customers know how much you care. I think that's something that's kind of a lost art now. Everybody's in the technical world, has computers, want to send emails. Handwriting somebody a card, it means something to me. Does anybody else do this? That's great. What do you use? What kind of cards do you use?
We buy a business card. Just buy a business card with
Yes, sir.
some writing on the inside.
Right.
We can buy it.
Right, right. And your customers are going through things. They'll tell you, hey, my husband's sick, or my wife's in the nursing home. You can always remember that, okay? If you're paying a good attention to your customer and say, hey, I hope your husband gets better. Little notes like that go a long way. And like I said, it's another wonderful opportunity to ask for referrals. Do you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, we also, it's kind of a combination of thank you, and then relating again, typically at the Christmas time, we'll do a Christmas card to key customers and to some of the, cause we say you come as a friend and leave as family. And so sometimes we put the newest featured buildings on the Christmas card along with the logo, and people will comment throughout the year.
Sometimes they come as a friend and we fight like family, you know what I mean? Something goes wrong. Oh, man. But anyway, send your customers. I just encourage you to do that. It's an extra added touch that they're probably not getting anywhere else, okay? Anybody else? Anybody? Let's see what time it is here. I want to make sure I don't go. Number 9, what are you doing to stand out from the competition? What are you guys doing? Me, I just want to be the most likable and accommodating salesperson in this industry. That's what I want to do. I fail at it sometimes, but I'm always trying to be the nicest person that customer is going to do with that day, because I truly believe that people want to buy from nice people. How many times do you go somewhere and somebody's rude to you, you want to buy something, and they could care less about your time, right? And that's terrible. We're in the people business, okay? They're buying you. They're not buying a shed. They're buying you. They're buying me. So I try to be the most likable and accommodating person. My wife always jokes. She goes, why don't you treat me like you do your customers? I said, well, call me about a shed. Hey, that's right. Yeah. But I was going to make a point with that. Sometimes you can pour so much into your business to where you don't have anything good to bring home. And then when you get home, it's like, you don't want to treat your family bad because you treated everybody else so great. But anyway, Some other things I do to stand out is the things we're talking about in this presentation. You know, tracking your leads, asking for referrals. A lot of folks aren't doing that these days. I've talked to different people at different sales lots. I had one of my competitors call me the other day. They go, "Hey, Charles, do you do a referral program?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Will you explain it to me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Hey, but then do you do veterans discount? Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, standing out in the shed industry. Does anybody here got anything they're doing a little different than you see everybody else doing? Yes. I knew you'd have a good answer.
Where I come from, I actually tell the customer, I have a list of the shed dealers in Sumter. And I give them the name and the number and the address.
Wow.
All the others, and tell them I'll see them in a week.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. Yeah, wow, man. Anybody else? I think that's my cue to shut up, you know? That's right. That's exactly right. But anyway, try to do something a little different than everybody else is doing. Anybody else before I move on? I know we're getting a little short on time here. Yes, sir. That's a great idea. Right. They'll definitely remember you then, you know it? That's beautiful. That'd be awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? All right. Number 10, daily personal development. A few years ago, one of my mentors said, "Hey, Charles, what are you reading?" I said, "Well, I read the newspaper." Right? I don't want to read anything. I mean, I've been through school, college, you know. I don't think I've ever read a whole book cover to cover. But he said, "No, what are you reading to get better?" Like personal development type stuff. And he said he encouraged me to read 10 pages of a good book daily. And I'm going to tell you something. This right here has really changed my life right here. Who here likes to read? Right. Outside the Bible, does folks here read stuff like I'm talking about here? Keep it up, because what we're trying to do is become bigger than our problems. Everybody's got problems. All right. I don't care how successful you are. Everybody's going to have problems because you're dealing with people, right? So become bigger than your problems. 3 books that I highly recommend. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's a book about the little things you do, whether they're good habits or bad habits. Mount up, okay? So if you make that extra phone call, how many phone calls is that in a year's time? It's like 365 if you work every day, which I pretty much work every day, right? Seems like it. But that's 365 extra phone calls. How many sales do you garner out of that by just making that one extra call a day? And no, I don't advocate working on Sunday either, guys. I don't. I really don't. Slight Edge is a great book about having the slight edge. Like, what are you doing to stand out from your competition? The other one is Everyone Communicates and Few Connect. Like we were talking about earlier, I can tell you everything about a shed, but if I'm not connecting with you, finding out about you and your needs and your family and what you like to do, it's all for naught, right? So you know, instead of listening to music, driving back and forth to work, sometimes I listen to audio, okay? A good book like that. It's called bread for the head, right? It feeds your mind because we're around negativity all day, okay, a lot of times. Anybody else have any good comments they want to make on books they've read or anything like that that helps them? Sales books. I mean, it's always good to read Zig Ziglar stuff, you know, to kind of hone your craft a little bit better. Always be touching up on stuff like that. The future of your and my business is simple. It's always been the same throughout history. Jim Rohn said this, opportunity mixed with difficulty. Okay, we're gonna have opportunity mixed with difficulty. All right, guys, listen. I'm getting the cue down here. Let me see here. Real quick, before I leave here, I consult with a business called America's Buildings, and we supply Lowe's sheds across the United States, okay? We currently work in these states right here. We're looking for builders throughout the United States who want to partner with us, okay? And I got some information if you want to find out about that. We've been doing it for like 16 years. We're Lowe's fastest vendor, fastest growing shed vendor right now. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of in a rush. I'm getting the boot. Advantages of being involved with Lowe's, you get to pick up sales in your area, okay? Lowe's has a customer base that only buys from Lowe's, so the people who are buying from Lowe's are not going to buy from you and I on the streets. That's the fact, okay? But anyway, if you're interested in that, see me afterwards. But I really appreciate you guys being here today. Hopefully you learned a little something. I've learned a lot, and I thank you all for coming. Give each other a round of applause here. Thank you.